early this morning. But hi, everyone. Sabrina Faith, and welcome to GH Talk. I decided to do it now because my crock pot is on, and it's going to take a little while to cook what I'm trying to cook, or at least see what it's doing. So the kids are asleep, and they've been asleep for a while, thank goodness, because Layla has school in the morning. Lucas got a nice hot bath. She had a nice hot shower, and they're out. Lucas will wake up, of course, but in the meantime, I was like, well, might as well go ahead and do a GH talk. I don't see why not. Hey, Vitra. Especially because this seems to be a slow week for the show right now. I think there's some baseball going on ABC. A lot of folks are complaining because they're like, "Don't you have sports channels for this? Do you really have to put this on the regular ABC channel?" You know how they do. But I think it's been out for 3 days. However, Canada, I don't know how many episodes Canada got, but Canada, somebody was posting scenes. So, hey Cassandra, somebody was posting scenes from Canada. So, um, lucky Canadians. But thank you for sharing because I did see some of it. Hey Deborah, it's great to be seen. So I have a little notebook here where I'm going to be taking notes throughout the live stream. I thought about going back through like my X feed and like taking notes over the last couple months, but it only lets you go back but so far. And since there's a lot to cover, I was like, I'm going to take notes this time. So next time I will be even more prepared. Who was that? Hold on. I'm sorry. Hi, Sabrina. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, I know it's really early, but please, in the comments, let me know what you want to discuss about the show. And I'm not just talking about just this week or this month. I mean, just everything this year. There's just been so much that's going on right now. The first thing that comes to my mind, I was on X and I saw that a gentleman named Charles. He was the one who originally played Jack Brennan, and he reshared a post from Laura Wright, or a comment. Nathan coming back. Okay, Nathan, I'm writing this down. West. He reshared a comment that Laura Wright had made. I guess the original post was an article where they were interviewing the new actor who now plays Jack Brennan. And of course, it's been said that it was Charles's decision to leave the role, that the show didn't fire him. And someone had said underneath in the comments, they were like, okay, it was his choice to leave, but why? And Laura was like, well, it's in the article. And the person was like, Brett. So we're going to talk about Nina is getting a lot of family back, isn't she? She sure is. Nina, okay. So the Charles who originated the Jack Brennan character, he commented, he reshared the post and commented, and he said it was his choice to leave and that the environment at General Hospital was very toxic. And that's what made him decide to leave. He used more words than that, but if you're on X, and you could probably look it up, it might be in a soap article somewhere. Hey, how you doing? It might be in a soap article somewhere, but he was very blunt about it. And many people were saying that they're not surprised. Some people were even mentioning the firing of Kelly Monaco, and how they felt that was that was somewhat toxic, how they treated her. When is GH going to be back on in the US? I think tomorrow General Hospital returns, I believe, because I saw a video with Maurice Bernard and Steve Burton, and they were talking about one more day, but I wasn't paying too much attention. But it's because of the baseball that's currently going on. But I thought that was very interesting. Please let me know if the air conditioning is drowning me out. But I thought it was very interesting that post. What I wanted to say about the character on the show of Jack Brennan, how are we feeling about the pairing of Carly and Jack, especially since the recast? I liked the original Jack because I felt like he brought an edge. He was sexier than the current Jack. And I feel as though this story with the WSB, let me write that down, WSB, I'm not it's okay now. I'm not. I don't know. I feel like there was a shift in his character. I, I'm just not. I'm just not really feeling it, especially since I'm waiting to see Carly's reaction to him recruiting Joss into the WSB. It's just kind of thrown me off, and I haven't really been invested in them as a couple, to be honest. It just seems as though that the character really just switched up after that, and I'm not really a fan of Carly's current pairing. I like the first Jack too. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's a recast that I could have done without. I didn't like it. I really didn't. But of course, we're gonna go with what someone said. I just wanted to comment on that because I was like, But Nathan West has returned. So let me go down here. Does anyone think that he's not Nathan? Does anyone feel like he's a clone? I've seen that a lot. So some people say that he might be a clone. Others were saying that Cesar Faison may have planted his brain into Nathan. Has anyone, I haven't heard anyone talk about exhuming the body where Nathan is buried to see what, if anything, is in there. I'm just like, this way of a return, you don't think that's him? Brit is giving me the heebie-jeebies because it's like she knows something. Some people were wondering if maybe he was the one who came to town to drop off that medication that was left in Jason's room for her. That's an interesting theory. You don't think it's Nathan? Okay. Britt keeps looking. She sure does, and she's giving me the heebie-jeebies about it. And I'm just wondering, what does she know? And she definitely looked like, I mean, even more uncomfortable when James showed up to see him. And I would hate to see that young boy get invested in this man and it's not his father. So, I mean, cloning is possible. I really hope somebody else's brain isn't implanted into him. I mean, or what are we thinking, like a memory mapping situation? Like maybe he has all of Nathan's memories and he's just been placed back here as some sort of revenge. I mean, he could even be brainwashed. I mean, didn't Dante come back, or even Drew, and they had some type of mind control going on in their head? He might be a puppet at this point. Even though they said that he's coming back to play. It's Peter August. I would so hate to see Peter August return. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know. But I will say I am enjoying how the show is playing his return. I like that it was a car accident and then they rolled him in and it's like, what on earth, Nathan? I'm so interested because if it's a clone, they can, I mean, the DNA and all of that matches, but I mean, we've seen this happen when Drew was Jake Doe and they thought he was Jason, so this is all very possible and so planned. Probably going to work with Drew. But I do like how they're playing the return. He doesn't know what happened in the last 7 years, or at least so he says. And also, I got kind of an off vibe from him as well. He just didn't seem, I don't know, like Nathan, yeah, but he seemed off a little bit too. I loved Nina's reaction to it when she saw him. She was like, he's awake, and stuff like that. She was totally skeptical and did not want to go down to the hospital with Anna. Poor Felicia. No one told her. She dropped everything. It was like, oh my goodness. I feel like we're definitely missing an element and a beat being played because Maxie is not available for this storyline. I wonder for how long. We all know that the actress Kirsten, let me write Maxie's name. We know that the actress who plays Maxie, she made an announcement that she and her daughter, I believe they're moving out of Hollywood, and she wanted some time off to get settled and said that she would be back sometime early next year, I think she said. Some people were saying that the temporary recast that she had could have came and played her in the meantime. I don't really know. I think I'm just so used to seeing her play Maxie. I'm not really sure I want to see a third party in the role right now, especially with Nathan back. But I kind of wish she was around for this because, I mean, I was gutted when Nathan died. And seeing Maxie's reaction and her grief and losing him, and the fact that he's just laying there and now he's met their son. I mean, wow. I don't know if anyone has seen the clips because again, they're not airing in the U.S., but Canada got those scenes where Nathan and James meet. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I did see it on X. Brit's return. So I mean, there's been quite a bit of returns going on. How do we feel about Brit Westbourne being back? I think there was a lot of buzz around it. She's another one of Dr. O's kids coming back from the dead recently. Did anyone tell James that his Aunt Brit was back from the dead? There was a lot of comments about that. That like, did he know? Does he even know who Brit is? I don't. He probably does. Brit wasn't dead for that long. She was dead less than Nathan was. So he probably knows who she is. I'm going to feel bad for Dr. O if it turns out not to be Nathan and Britt knows that's not him. Yeah, Dr. O was very pissed off, and I felt her justified anger at Britt for being dead this entire time. I still don't really fully understand it. I'm not too invested because I think they just kind of built it up so much, especially laying it on thick with Jason and Britt. I'm not hating them. I'm not against them, but I'm not sold on Jason and Britt. I'm just not. I don't know that there's a pairing of Jasons that I have enjoyed since he's been with Sam. I mean, if we're gonna be like real technical right now, wasn't the last? I guess Britt was the last woman he was with on screen anyway. The last romantic pairing that he somewhat had, the last person that he had relations with. So I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I wish that like Lindsay Hartley, I still say to this day, I liked when she would step in for Kelly Monaco and play Sam for her. I always thought that they should have brought her back as her own character. I would have liked to have seen her paired with Steve Burton. But I'm not really sold on him and Britt as a couple, but they were really laying it on thick with the flashbacks. I remember that Jason was at the airport. He was, I believe, returning to Port Charles, and he caught a glimpse of Britt getting on the plane, and he just couldn't let it go. And Elizabeth helped him out in getting her information, and that's when I guess he just figured as much that she wasn't dead, and he went on this adventure. It was great to see Jason wearing a suit. Absolutely loved seeing him in that blue. Very different look. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen here. Again, I'm not sold on them as a couple. I haven't enjoyed Jason and the pairing since Jason and Sam. I just haven't. Sorry. Nina, since we're going down the West line, well, actually, I want to say GH needs to be on at a different time than 1 p.m. Oh, are you in a different time zone? In our time zone, I'm on the East Coast, so it's on at 2 o'clock for us. It's on at 2 o'clock. Dr. O, I'm so glad she's back. I'm so glad she returned. If I remember correctly, her first scenes returning, I believe were at Crimson with Nina. And she and Willow showed up. And I think this is around the time, let me write this down, Sasha and Daisy. You live in Wisconsin, okay. Hey, Wisconsin. And this was around the time that Willow entered into the office, and this was like, she was messing with Daisy. She was messing with that baby, and she heard from Nina that Sasha was leaving because they believed that there was some kind of danger. Oh, who said that? Because I agree. Yes, I miss the old Brennan. He brought just this sexy edge to it. His chemistry with Laura Wright was just right. Okay? Love that movie. If it's free on YouTube tonight, I'm definitely watching it. Queen Latifah. Anyway, but I feel like there's something missing. They're trying, but I just it's something missing between the two of them now. But she was messing with Daisy. I loved how Dr. O picked up on how much Willow enjoyed hearing that Sasha was leaving. Um, I just loved that whole exchange, and I was just like, oh yes, Dr. O is back. What a breath of fresh air. She even called. They're gonna dig up Nell next. Oh, let me write that down. I know this may sound crazy, but for the heck of it, I would love to see Nell. Some people feel like a lot of things that Willow has fallen for, especially when it comes to Drew, that Nell wouldn't. But I think that Drew and Nell would definitely be far more diabolical, because I feel like Drew would be able to be himself in front of Nell. At this point, it seems that Drew can be himself in front of Willow, because now she's thrown all caution to the wind, and she's like, Drew is my best chance of getting my kids back. Good Lord. Even though she lost him by listening to him. Oh my goodness. Let me write him down. Drew Kane, not Quartermain. Because he really wants to be a Quartermain so bad. But okay, before we get there, but I'm very glad at the return of Dr. O. I just wanted to say that. Missed her so much. And Nina did put it together that Willow was the one who was messing with Sasha and Daisy. I don't know if I saw it coming or not, but I just thought it was the creepiest thing when she was going in there. If I remember correctly, she was changing the baby's clothes. I think she moved the baby out the crib. I was screaming because I was like, the security cameras. But if you think about it, since Willow has spent so much time on the Quartermain property, then she would know how to avoid the cameras, how to get in and out and off the property. But I'm still like, really, there's really no way. I mean, right now, Michael can't prove it. He really can't prove it. And I'm curious to see what'll happen when they go back to court. I can't remember, but was he able to further postpone their next meeting for their next hearing for custody? Because I remember that Drew, oh my goodness, put arrows around this man's name. I remember that Drew threatened Michael because Mike, he messed with Wiley again. This man, Wiley, let me write Wiley's name down. That was the second time that by then he probably will find proof. I hope so. I'm glad Rick got free. Oh, let me write that down. Rick Lansing. Got to talk about that. Hey, Crystal. So Drew has gaslit Wiley twice now. Sidwell and Son. Okay. The second time that he's gaslit Wiley. The first time was when he was talking to Rick before that last hearing, because he wanted to interrupt any chance of Willow and Michael coming to a compromise. His strategy in his mind that blew up in his face was that he just wants to take Willow, Scout, and Wiley and Amelia and move to DC and get away from everyone and start all over. And I remember I choked when they were at the nurses' ball and they were talking to Carly about a compromise for the parenting schedule, and that they were making it seem like they were being so super generous to give what would they say? Did they say 2 weeks in the summer or something like that? And maybe possible how I just remember that it was no time at all, really. Like, she was gonna have those kids locked in all year if they would have went to DC. I was like, I cannot believe you think this is a compromise. Carly was actually very diplomatic in that situation. Very proud of her, because Carly can be a bit extra sometimes, but still she was like, split custody, 50-50. If we're gonna do this fair and square. if you really mean it about, Michael, I mean, but those two are trifling. Willow is just, oh, girl, girl. But anyway, I'm going to need them to take Scout away from him and let him see how it feels without his daughter. But because it just seems like he's so detached. Would he really care about, like you were talking about how he would feel to lose Scout, but would it really be a feeling, or is she just a pawn and he'd be like, I own her, so I need to have her back? Kind of like a narcissistic connection instead of a fatherly one, because he's so disconnected emotionally from everyone. He's just so upset. And I've been trying to figure out for months, like, okay, what happened with Drew in this shift? And to me, in my opinion, it really has to stem from Jason returning. That's what I think. Because the very first move he made when Jason returned was to break up with Carly, because he was like, you're going to choose Jason. It's going to be all about Jason. I'm going to go to the wayside, and it could harken back to when Jason returned the very first time. And Carly and Sonny, they were still there for Drew, but they were down for Jason. They didn't, like, when they saw him, they didn't doubt at all that, Jason was who he said he was. And I just think sometimes I just think that Drew misses having the adoration, the love of the family. Even though he didn't like the lifestyle that Jason lived, he was still seen as that hero, and I think he just, he doesn't have that connection anymore, and he has to reestablish himself. And I don't know, he doesn't, it's like he doesn't want to earn his spot in the family. He just it's really strange. And the way he's going about it, I mean, we have he did the family crypt. He tried to he tried to have it torn down and moved because of some property line. Monica had to step in and set that straight. I like, oh my goodness. I don't know why he thought that was going to endear the Quartermains, but I believe the reason he did that was he was trying to use that as leverage to get the Quartermain name. Am I right? I think another thing that he did was he blackmailed Tracy because he somehow snuck onto the Q property, although he's banned, and he talked to Tracy. Tracy decided that she wanted to team up with him, and I think it was to take down Sonny. Okay, let me write that down. Sonny takedown. And she decided to throw in with Drew, and while Drew was there, he put that ketamine in the trunk of her car, and she was arrested at the nurses' ball. I will say that her arrest scenes were very enjoyable. I do very, very much enjoy the newfound relationship and connection between Jason and Tracy. Absolutely. It's one of my favorites. And it makes me miss Leslie, who played Monica, even more, because I wish we could have seen more. I wish we could have seen Monica up and about and enjoying her son living back at the Quartermains. But Tracy is the next best thing, and they're just phenomenal, especially their scenes over Monica's memorial, but we'll get back to that. But Jason came down there and made sure that Diane got her out, and he told her that she had to get her own ride. Mac was funny in those scenes as well. I'm glad that he's still around. I want to say rest in peace to Tristan. I don't want to say his last name wrong, but the gentleman who played Robert Scorpio for many years, he did not win his battle of cancer like the actor who plays Max Scorpio, Mr. York. So that definitely had to be bittersweet for all of them. I'm very glad that he was able to make a final appearance on the show. I think he also was able to make another appearance on another soap opera uh, that aired after he died. But it was great to be able to see him. The scenes between Tracy and Jason have been great. They've been so superb. And then I was reflecting because, I love to go back and watch old GH clips. I think a lot of us do. And if not for those clips that are on YouTube, there's so much about General Hospital that I wouldn't know. And especially the Jason clips from 1996 after his accident, whenever I see, and even before then, like, I've watched the pre-Quartermain relationships and Jason talking to Tracy kind of, and that, but definitely in 1996 when there was an ELQ board meeting. I believe it was Young and the Restless. Thank you, Deborah. It was around this time. Lois was there. She was pregnant with Brooklyn. Jax was at the meeting. Brenda was at the meeting. I believe Jason gave Sonny his proxy, and this upset Ned so much. And I think they were trying to vote Ned out of being CEO. And because they were mad that he gave Jason access to his shares that Sonny ended up with. So Tracy comes in and she starts talking to Jason like he's retarded, and those are it's just a wonderful thing, again, the longevity of this soap, and to be able to see over decades how the relationships have changed. Like, I mean, there was nothing between Jason and Tracy at that point, and now they're hugging each other, having such a beautiful moment. I don't know if it was the first time that Jason had heard that story about Monica and how she came to accept him as her son, but regardless, it was such a hi, how are you? And regardless, it was such a powerful moment. Steve Burton is when he gets to play those emotional beats, he does a great job. And then you have to think, I mean, according to the actress who plays Tracy, Jane, she's known Leslie even before she came to General Hospital. So they've known each other. She knew her since the 60s. So, that emotional connection and all those memories. And then even for Steve Burton and the actor who plays Ned, Wally Kurth, they both came in the early 90s. So, I mean, it just has to be overwhelming. And I do commend these actors because it's been months since she passed away. I mean, months. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did this happen like end of last year? So to have to come back after all these months and draw it up, like it's fresh, like you lost her twice. They're grieving her twice. I'm in real life and on the show, and I just commend them for being able to tap into that. It's probably not hard, like I said, because of all of the time that was invested. I mean, behind the scene, I mean, there's so much to draw from. Steve said it was January. Okay. So it's so much to draw from. Wonderful. But we'll definitely get back to that because it's a current story right now. And I didn't want to spoil anything, but does anyone know did anyone see the scenes of Monica's will? Again, someone posted the scenes on X because Canada ended up getting the episode early. But I don't want to spoil it for anyone just in case you haven't seen it. But I saw who gets what, and it's, a doozy. But okay. Glad Dr. O's back. Now, as I said, he gaslit Wiley twice. The first time was to prevent compromise between Michael and Willow, and then this second time was when he decided to go sit with the boy and put it in his head that I should be seeing mommy and stuff. Okay. I should be seeing mommy. You should be letting me see mommy. and stuff. I'm glad why I don't believe Wiley was there to see Drew actually get punched. I do again. I want another relationship that I like. I enjoy Stella and Tracy. Stella and Tracy's friendship is an unexpected treat. Whenever I see Stella, it also reminds me of her friendship with Mike. She's really great with people. We're gonna get back to Stella because she's had some drama. Now, and I remember that Drew was trying to blackmail Sonny. He was trying to, to. I mean, he was very bold with what he told Sonny that he wanted. One thing about Drew, I will say, is that, excuse me, I burped. It doesn't seem like he plays things close to the vest. And I mean, not all the time, because he can be sneaky. I mean, he went behind Willow's back and gaslit her son, and then Willow tried to say Michael was lying about it, and she didn't even ask her son. A lot of people were very upset by that. They were like, "You're not even going to talk to Wiley and see what Wiley has to say about it. You're just going to take Drew's word for it." But what I mean is that I had just noticed that, Drew went to Sidwell and to, is his son's name Marco? He went to he went to Spoon Island, and he just went on about his plan and what he was going to do, and how he was just going to make this right for Willow. And then, the two of them were like, he's losing focus here. And I'm like, you're just running around telling them your plan. I just didn't think it was a smart move. I'm like, why are you running around telling everybody, everything that you're about to do or everything you're going to try to do? I thought it was also reckless the way you kind of went to Sunny like that. But of course, it didn't work. The DA was over there, though. She couldn't show that she was there, but I thought it was interesting that she got to hear. I'm afraid to see Friday's episode, okay? Because like clockwork, let me see, will come and they will break in for the usual, as usual. Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, it's preempted here for me too, because I'm in Ohio. So nothing's been on Hulu, nothing's been on TV, but Canada got it. At least one episode. I don't know how many episodes Canada got. He got a restraining order. He sure did. That's another thing. So that's another area in which I'm like, he's reckless. With the whole restraining order thing. And I mean, Alexis had every right to be upset. I think we all through the TV were saying for months that somebody needs to do something. So I'm just a little disappointed that Alexis didn't move sooner before he had the restraining order in place. I would have done something a while ago, especially since we've already seen that, grandparents' rights is a thing because of Nina and what she did to Michael and Willow. We've been saying for months that somebody needs to get to Scout. That poor darling. And again, somebody was saying that they want Drew to know how it feels, but I don't know. She just seems like a pawn. I know people hate Drew. I like having Drew as a villain. Cameron Matheson's acting can be a bit hard to watch. He's better playing a asshole, in my opinion. I mean, his eyes bug out. His hand. They call him Jazz Hands on Facebook. I'm not like. I will agree with you that a character like his is needed. He's a necessary evil. But I will admit he's more annoying than he is a criminal. Like, and I know that doesn't make sense because I'm sure he's probably committed crimes, but he's not like Peter August. He hasn't kidnapped anybody yet. As far as we know, he hasn't shot anybody. Like, he's not truly a criminal. He's just a jerk with a really bad attitude and just a horrible way of going about family politics, because he's so self-absorbed that he can't see anybody else's pain. Like, he refuses to really acknowledge what he did to Michael and why the family was like, we cannot tolerate what you did. You're not even really owning it, apologizing, and not touching that woman ever again. You think you're gonna be with your nephew's wife, ex-wife, and we're just gonna have you living here on the property like that? So he's just really he's a real jerk. He's so annoying. It's like, ooh, but he's not like Heather Weber. He's not comical yet or Pentonville villainess yet. He's more classic soap villain, yeah. And he's a necessary evil. You need characters like that because I'm telling you, there'll probably come a day where people are relieved that Drew is the way he is. Like, there might come a situation where you're like, only Drew can pull that off. You're going to have to call Drew. You might be happy that he showed up. You never know. I mean, stranger things have happened on soap operas. I mean, look at Willow. She really thinks that he's the key to getting her kids back. I'm really not sure how she came to that conclusion. Wait, she said because he reached across the ocean and blackmailed that woman into not letting her see Michael, that he has the power and the pull to get her kids back. And I'm just like, if that was the case, then honey, he would have been able to reach across town and told that judge to let you keep the kids. I mean, shoot, an ocean across town. Let me see. The show needs it, otherwise there won't be enough conflict. The characters will get boring. Yeah, absolutely. Willow just stupid. The restraining order. So what was I thinking of? Drew getting shot. I knew Willow comes from a family of mentally unwell people. She's yes, she is. She sure is. Not as she hasn't reached Nell yet, which I'm kind of okay with. I think that the road that Willow is on has done wonders for definitely the actress who gets to play something a bit more fun. If I was her, I would personally, I would be having a bit of fun because Willow Tate was kind of dry. You know what I'm saying? She was just goody two shoes and all that. So it must be really fun. Nathan. Oh, remember, it might not be Nathan. For those of you who weren't here earlier, do you believe that the man in the bed is truly Nathan? Or do you believe he's Peter August, a clone, memory mapped? What do you think about this Nathan West? Is Cesar? I wrote that down. A lot of that's been the key thing. Most people think he's either Cesar or Peter. That's been the two highest ones as the option. I think we're seeing the memory map part too. Oh, good Lord. Hopefully it's written well. Like I said earlier, I do like how they're reintroducing his character. That he just showed up on a gurney and it's like, the hell? Like, but has anybody talked about exhuming his body? I do not recall. Don't recall anybody talking about exhuming the body to see what's in the grave, But it's going to be very interesting to see it unfold. Let me see. So I knew they weren't going to kill Drew. I knew they weren't going to do that. For one, Cameron Matheson is a favorite, I believe. He's a favorite. He's been in the soap world for a long time, so I didn't think that they were gonna, get rid of him unless he just wanted to go and do Hallmark movies full time or something like that. I think he Cesar with Nathan's memory. Okay, but I knew they weren't gonna kill him off. But was Drew getting shot satisfying enough? There's just been so much going on. Like, I don't know that he should just have the full brunt of karma because that may not be fun. I'm hearing that Ronnie probably shot Drew because he's causing problems in Monica's family. Oh my. Oh, Ronnie, who's being played by the actress. Her name escapes me right now, but I do know her name. But she played Vicky Lord on One Life to Live, and she just showed up in town, and she's Monica's sister. A lot of people are not pleased with this rewrite. They think it was kind of forced and rushed right now. Absolutely, yeah. You mean absolutely not to him being shot? I was just like, Erica, thank you. I just wanted a bit more fallout from Drew getting shot. again, I knew they weren't going to kill him off. And maybe it is too soon for him to be waking up from a gunshot with a completely reformed character because, like we were just discussing, characters like Drew is necessary. He's a necessary evil in order to keep the show interesting and spicy. And you have to have that person, you know? And then when they're gone, you miss them. Like Nell for me, I miss Nell at times. Do I want her back full time? But like you need that, oh my god. But I just wanted a bit more fallout. Yeah, he's in a wheelchair, but it seems like he's going to be absolutely fine. But I guess now the story is that he is doing his best to make sure that Michael goes down for it. I'm just I'm so exhausted with his vendetta against Michael. And I feel like he's really angry with Michael because he's actually stuck with Willow. He's like, dang, you couldn't. He's like, you really let me take your wife and now I'm stuck with her and all her problems. Yeah, I'm mad at you. I mean, what else could it be? Why is he so like Jason? I can understand because, like I said, I mean, he lost the Jason identity. He lost whatever, whatever like real foundational connection he had to the Quartermains, and so I can understand why he would be upset with Jason. But I mean, he must be mad at Michael because he's stuck with Willow, and Michael couldn't seem to pull his wife back. I mean, what else could he like for real? GS needs a somewhat normal villain. We need a balance to Jens, and Jens can't be the only opposition to the fan faves, right? Hi. Let me see. So him getting shot wasn't, you know, it wasn't as satisfying, but I think in the moment when it happened, we all, many of us cheered. Many of us cheered and was hoping, to see what happened. A lot of people was like, why didn't you go for the head? How do you, let me put the PCPD. Anna really going to believe Michael shot Drew and put the crime on him. You think so? Michael is working very hard to get this alibi. I'm still waiting for them to say that Drew got a traumatic brain injury from that beating he took in prison. Something had to have happened to really shift his personality the way that it has. But again, I don't know if they'll expand on it ever. But I mean, something. How do Portia and the new? Oh, let me. Hold on. Before we get to that, the PCPD, y'all. How do you think they're handling this investigation into who shot Drew? Anna and Chase not good at their job. I think they will because eventually they'll have to turn face and give him a redemption arc. Okay. And Dante just seemed like he really wanted Michael to be like, yeah, I did. I shot Drew. The one thing the PCPD is not solve a damn crime. Yeah, I wonder who will be the one to solve the crime. A lot of people have been re-watching the footage where Drew got shot because there was a shadow that was standing over him after he was laying on the ground. Many people believe it was a female. A lot of people are still saying that they believe it was Willow. And of course, Willow was out of the hospital at the time, probably outside. I think she came in wet. Yeah, a lot of people said Willow. My question is, where did she get the weapon from? Who did she get the weapon from that shot him? Even if it wasn't her. We also have Trina, who was on the scene, and she was with that boy that I don't really know that I like so much. What is his name? Kai, who was kissing Drew's butt up until he overheard Drew acting like a jerk. Jason, like always, will solve the crime. Didn't Steve Burton recently do some video on social media about Jason and how Jason is always solving crimes? And I think Dominic Zamprogna responded to it as Dante. It was really good. The shadow had the same length bob as Willow. Edward's gun, thank you. That did come out recently. You're right. So, and that's probably why that you said that they're going to pin it on Michael. Is Gio ever going to have a relationship with his parents? I like Gio. Let me write that down. I like Gio. Took some time. So we'll have to, of course, we're waiting to see how this unfolds. Jacinda, they were taking a poll to see if Michael should be in a relationship with her next. Again, it's too soon for me. I haven't seen enough, so I'm not shipping them. Hey, Aaron. Willow would also know where Edward's gun is. She's been slipping in and out of the Q's house for months. Those are facts. But those are facts. Mm-hmm. Um, let me see here. Yeah, it's too soon for me to shit Jacinda and Michael. I would have to see more. I'm more annoyed by her presence. Though shout out to Portia who didn't fall for her blackmail. Yeah, absolutely not. I think she tried to get more money out of both her and Nina. And they were like, girl, bye. I was like, hallelujah, because I'm really sick of it. I sure thank you. And most people in the comment section believe that Sasha, if Sophia isn't going to be returning, needs to be recast and that her and Daisy need to come back to town. Does anybody else feel like Sasha and Daisy need to come back? I mean, Daisy was just the cutest. And of course, we know that the truth came out during the court hearing. Nope. The truth came out during the court hearing. Willow helped her give birth to that baby. I will say I agree with you, Kay. I'm not a fan of Sasha. I'm okay if she doesn't come back. I actually want to see Michael with a woman who has a bit more flavor. I'm really tired of the wallflower woman for Michael. I just want to see them spice it up a bit more because I am enjoying the recast. What in the comments, just let me know, what do you think about Rory in the role of Michael? Because initially when Chad left, Frank said there was no plans to recast the character, at least at that time. However, it was just very clear as time went on that Michael was desperately needed, especially to throw a wrench in the plan of that part. To throw a wrench in the plan of what Drew and Willow were trying to pull over, because if Michael hadn't come back, they probably would have gotten away with getting custody. Give Michael Blackwoman a day. Hey, it could be any kind of flavor. But hey, I say that too. I just, just do something different. And Jacinda isn't enough. Yes, and I need Sasha to find out that Willow was messing with Daisy. So we have some people that are we are split. For me, I maybe if Sasha is recasted, I could stand her, but I don't want Sophia's Sasha back. I'm just over Sasha at this point. Yeah, that's me. Usually it's very hard for me to accept a recast. Oh, I think it's the way that he came in. Like, I don't know. It's just new Michael is given fine. This Michael could help bring Love in the Afternoon back with a good love interest. Sure could. Sure could. And I like Chad. I kind of feel for him because I don't know how he's taken the comments, because a lot of people, I don't know how he's taken the comments and the feedback, because there's a lot of comparison between his portrayal and Rory's portrayal. But I will always give him credit where credit is due. He played that role for more than a decade, and no matter what, he laid the foundation for who Michael is today. He took that role and he brought it to where it is, to where Rory was able to take it up and run with it. So Chad will forever have my respect. I love what he brought to the role of Michael as Michael at the time. There was some wonderful moments. I just wish they would have let him be dark Michael, like we seem to be seeing a lot more from Rory. Because those first scenes when he was really giving it to Willow, and he put his foot down and he said no when she came up to Carly's house crying, talking about, let me see the kids, let me kiss them good night. And he's like, no. Even when she came to the house in that wedding dress, she was going to scare them kids. Poor Wiley in the house after hearing his mama yelling and stuff. He's putting his foot down. There are some people who are still a bit in disbelief. They're like, well, this isn't really authentic to Michael. Michael wouldn't do that. But I think it's about damn time. I was concerned because something about Chad's Michael is that, for instance, when it was found out that Brad had Wiley and that Jonah died, this happened in the Corinthos living room. Michael was quiet the entire time and Carly ate up the room. She ate up the entire room. I get it. It was her brother, it was her son, her grandson, but she ate up the entire room, and Chad didn't get to own the moment as Michael. But Rory in this role, I don't know if it's because it's Rory. I don't know if it's because of who's ever in the writer's room. Carly isn't calling the shots. She didn't even know he was back in town. I was like, ah! He's calling the shots. He was like, you know what? I'm taking this private jet. I'm going back to town. I'm going to call my uncle because he always got my back and tell him to grab my daughter, bring her to my mama's house. I'm going to get my son. And then he said, tell the rest of the family to meet me at my mama's house. And then he even called Diane and got the paperwork together. Oh, the look on their faces. I was like, I'm so glad that Mac was so calm with Drew when Drew was like, do I got to go over your head, Mac? And then Mac was like, you could try. But everything's above board. There's nothing I could do. The kids are over there and you're not getting them back. That was just beautiful. I mean, he was moving like a boss, honey. Behind the scenes, he didn't even need his mama. I was so happy. I was like, yeah! He didn't need his mama. Yes, he is about that life. Michael is a whole ass villain when he chooses to be. We saw how he did Sonny when he was Big Mac. Yeah. Rory is better on. I heard that Young and the Restless pretty much wasted him. He played, was it Noah Newman? Or was the last name different? But I think the character was Noah. I like Chad. He's our Michael, but this Michael is also really good. Yes. I just wish Chad was around for the Monica funeral. Someone else has said something, and I wanted to find it because I didn't want to ignore it. Oh, Vitra. Vitra said Portia had the nerve to be mad about Curtis having a drink with Jordan and she's sleeping with Isaiah. This Michael plays absolutely zero. And thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Andrew. Absolutely zero games. And I'm enjoying it. I am here for it. He does seem to have some kind of compassion, but I'm also glad that especially when Willow came to the house after she didn't get married to Drew, that he didn't fold immediately and just let her see the kids. He's standing on business. Oh, you're right. You're right about that. Canada's episode, they got the scenes. You're right about that. I don't want to say it out loud just in case I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's true. I saw the scenes. I saw the scenes of Portia. Okay, so let's get on to Portia. Honey. One thing I will say is Portia really enjoys Jordan's leftovers. Don't she? Don't she? I mean, come on. And why is it that Jordan can't keep her men and we just keep giving them to Portia? I was looking at it and I was like, I finally, every time I hear Portia lying, hypocritical ass, I agree. I was just like, I don't necessarily want her with Curtis because Curtis was foul for how he did her. He left her for a lie, but it was a part of her job. It was her job. But you're with Portia, and that's all that woman does is lie. She told the biggest lie or kept the biggest truth from you, which is the two of you share a daughter in Trina. And I still don't really feel good about that rewrite. I miss Taggart, and I think Taggart should have still been her father. It's ain't but 2 or 3 brothers on G8. Oh, and speaking of brothers, real quick, can we segue? I don't like how y'all did TJ at all. I'm glad for the actor. I've seen his IG in his personal life, but I don't like how they did the actor at all. I like Isaiah better with Jordan. They made her give up Isaiah, and for what? So she could go undercover with Sidwell? And what is she doing with Sidwell? Has she found anything significant? Has she done anything worth not having that chocolate man in her life and letting Portia just get swallowed up by him? What? Y'all are tripping. There's no reason why she had to break up with that man. And I'm still trying to figure out what is the purpose of Isaiah now that Jonathan Jackson's Lucky done left. Like he got the keys to Lucky's cabin, but that's it. And he's sitting there having sex with the chief of staff. Like, I mean, we know Isaiah can have sex and that he's really empathetic to Willow. But I mean, really, what is y'all wrong for what you did to TJ? Still difficult for me to vibe with this, Jordan. It's understandable. Let me see. Yeah, Isaiah and Jordan breaking up was absolutely pointless. Yeah. She didn't do anything undercover with Sidwell. I'm just like, girl, what? To me, she was never a good agent and cop. That's just my personal opinion. She never was the character of Jordan, no matter who played her. God. But I don't like how y'all did TJ. I mean, he completely disappeared. I don't even remember the last time I saw him. When was the last time we saw TJ? They just wrote his ass off. I mean, and then, of course, just replaced him with Isaiah as a doctor. Do you like Molly and Cody? They're all right. I'm not saying I would want Molly and TJ back together, but they're all right. I guess they got to do something with Cody. What is annoying me is Christina. Let me write that down. But back to Portia. Girl, you did, I mean, Jordan, whose baby are you carrying right now? That's the question. And then Avitra is right. Got the nerve to get mad because he's having a drink with Jordan. I mean, isn't that the karma you deserve, though? Because she was working on Curtis when he was still married to Jordan. So that's karma for your ass. She's insecure. And she has every reason to be. You slithered in on somebody else's husband. And the nerve of Isaiah to tell Portia he doesn't want people to know about them. The same Isaiah that was mad that Jordan wanted to keep their relationship undercover. If Isaiah talking about Jordan messing with Portia and Curtis' wedding, yeah, it's okay for him, their marriage. I think he might have. Well, it's easier to throw stones when you haven't been caught yet. That is true. That is true. And, Portia always looks stupid when she gets caught. I was really hoping that her and Curtis was over because but now that she's pregnant, he's going to find out, and that's going to be a reason for him to want to work on their marriage. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards maybe the baby is Isaiah's. But there's a lot of people who think that the baby... Did I have the baby? Or were you talking about Portia being pregnant? Does anybody know that Portia's pregnant? I'm sorry, I didn't want to spoil it. I'm sorry. Not going to be able to keep it a secret, Isaiah, if it's yours. Right. Oh, yes, I did. He's sleeping. It was obviously headed that way. Right? 1 second. Speaking of babies, let me go check on him. Baby is fine. That bottle in the bath put him down real nice. The second they had Portia and Isaiah sleep together, it was obvious that was next. Hi. Just for about an hour. Thank you very much. But we still have a lot to talk about. We ain't even scratched the surface. So this is gonna be another interesting. But I'm glad that Our black folks is getting the mess, honey. They getting the mess. You know, they a mess, and I'm loving it. They getting the mess. Um, Wait, did Trina tell her mother that she got that evidence out of Drew's safe? Did she tell her mother? I can't remember. Let me see. You know, Portia is goof for Who's the Daddy dilemma. Especially, isn't this her second Who's the Daddy dilemma? But she's a doctor, so she should be able to do a DNA test immediately. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so Trina didn't. Okay, girl, why haven't you told your mother? That would have been the first thing I did. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I feel about her and Kai. I'm still watching. I'm still watching. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm sure the actor who plays Kai is trying, but I'm just like, I liked the dude who was his friend better. He had a friend at one point, and I liked him. I sure did. Do you watch Beyond the Gates? I've heard about it. I've seen scenes, but I haven't been following it closely, no. But there's a lot of people who very much enjoy it. I don't think anyone knows that Trina and Kai were in the house when Drew got shot. I think the only evidence, oh, I'm so sorry. I think the only evidence, I love Britt and Dr. O is back. Yeah. I'm on the fence about Britt, but I'm absolutely psyched about Dr. O. She going to lie and have Curtis believing he's the dad. I think she would do that out of jealousy, because she don't want him free, and she definitely don't want Jordan to have him and get close to him. And that's going to drive a wedge between him and Jordan, because it seems like they're getting close again. But I don't want Jordan and Curtis back together. Can I say that again? I don't want Jordan and Curtis back together. Do better. Let Jordan do better. Hey, I hope Brad comes back. That would be cute to see him. And wasn't Brad back working at the hospital, or am I wrong? At some point. I don't know. There's just so many things all the time going on. But yeah, okay, Portia. Okay, girl, bring the mess. I mean, Jordan can have love interests other than Curtis. Yeah, other than Isaiah, too. They really ruined it with her and Isaiah. Yeah, but Drew paid him off to leave town. Okay, yes, he did. What did he do? Oh, for those prescription? Was it for the ketamine? Because he wanted that ketamine? Or was it for something else? Brad was at the... Sorry. Oh, he sold out Portia because he knew what Portia did to Heather, right? I think that's right. Oh, Rick is mad because he was in the basement. I would be mad too, trying to kill my captors so they couldn't cap me again. You know, bring back Zeke. Zeke was another good brother who just disappeared out of nowhere. Wasn't he a lawyer? Who was he representing? I think he was representing Drew, and Drew ended up ended up behind bars. So Drew would be the one to blackmail her. I remember when Portia told Willow that she was being blackmailed by Drew. She didn't give a damn. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Brad sold the evidence on Portia to Drew. There was something. Oh, okay. Oh, Aunt Stella. So Aunt Stella ran into some issues. I don't think I saw how it got resolved, but I do see that she's back at the hospital. I do like Aunt Stella's relationships. Like I said, I think I enjoy her friendship with Tracy. I like seeing her in scenes with Martin. She was very helpful to Martin. I thought that was really good how at the PCPD when Drew was like, oh, I'm your biggest paying client. So you're going to do this for me. And Martin, he didn't do it. I was like, yes, but now Martin is right back in Drew's clutches, and I don't understand why. Is it because he really doesn't like Tracy that much that he just wants to get back at Tracy, and he's like, okay, I'll just go along. Oh, and the money. He's right. Martin needs money. So Martin is moved by money. Yes, and Felicia. I like the friendship between her and Felicia. I like seeing when people are able to sit and confide in Stella. So Stella had her drama and stuff because, for real, she committed insurance fraud. but for good reasons. Okay, honey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not. What is that song? I ain't mad at you. So no, not at all. But that was interesting. So I do like that everyone in the cast, regardless of color, regardless of race, is getting stories. But where's Terry? I think Terry showed up recently, right? When Britt came back. Why don't we see more of Terry? Also, Elizabeth, can you channel Epiphany a bit more in your job role? Because Willow would have been suspended if like girl, like especially when she hit Lucas. And Lucas should have reported that. What excuse me? What? Especially I can't. And then Drew with his little, he's sitting there talking about, oh, I need somebody to check me because Michael hit me. Drew is so dramatic. I can't stand him. Where is Scott? Oh, so Ken, who plays Scott, I guess he's off the show for good. Oh, and I only say that because he did address it on X when someone posted a picture of his dressing room being given to the actor who plays Kai. They removed his name from his dressing room and gave it to the actor who plays Kai. And a lot of people's like, what? That's messed up. And, blah, blah, blah. And Ken was kind of like, this moment happens, for a lot of us and stuff. And I can't remember exactly what further he said, but I do not believe we will, yeah. I don't think that Nathan West, and I think it's Peter August. You think it's Peter August too. Willow ain't in her right mind. I'm glad Michael got them kids. A lot of people are very glad. Yeah, there are so many people who are so glad because I was just like, what annoyed me was the fact that the judge had to be paid off to make the right decision. I mean, everything that she said as to why Michael would retain custody instead of Willow made sense to me. So I was like, I guess she just, wrote that down real quick to make it seem more believable. But I was like, the fact that you had to be paid off, maybe she was already going to make that decision and made Sidwell think that she wasn't so she can get the money. Regardless, she's dead now. They found, Danny and Rocco saw her floating in the water. And instead of calling the PCPD, they called Sunny. Anna was salty. Such a bad timing. Yeah, we need her. We need you, Miss Storm. Such a good time. I felt like, let's speak on her departure. She was getting ready. She was consulting with Martin because she wanted to come clean about Sonny's involvement with deception, I believe, and his ties to it. And Sidwell was like, and he did that to her. Willow shot Drew. She shot that man because she thinks Michael would go to jail for killing Drew and she could get the kids back. That lady is unwell. That is a wonderful theory. And girl, if it plays out that way, woo. But the fact that she had to be paid to make the right decision. And then Marco signed her death warrant when he went in there and told, and that was another thing. So Drew was trying to get Michael on hitting him and assault. Then he was like, oh, you paid off the judge. And he going around telling everybody that. I'm like, Drew, you don't play anything close to the vest, do you? Why would you tell them about the judge before you get evidence about the judge? Like, I was like, that was stupid. And then we got Harrison Chase. Chase, focus on your wife and leave your ex-girlfriend alone. Stop cheering your ex-girlfriend on. You are a part of the Quartermain family. She is no longer a part of it. You don't betray Michael. He is your cousin-in-law. Oh my gosh. Stop defending that woman. Exactly. They got some nerve. Yeah, Chase has really been doing the most. He's just been way too extra. I'm actually missing his dad that was dying. where's Finn at? Jesus. I mean, we don't have to have Finn back on the show. Never mind. However, I still like Chase and Brooklyn as a couple. I do. Speaking of that, somebody had mentioned Geo, and I think I saw the comment and they said, Aaron, you're right. Violet was lovely. Um, Geo, I remember last year, or maybe even some months ago this year, when we were talking about Geo, and um, it just seemed like he was just some filler character, and we were just wondering what was the purpose of him. Of course, it unfolded. They finally gave him something meaty, and it's the fact that he is indeed a Quartermain, an Ashton, and a Cirillo. And I definitely reshared those scenes in on my post section on YouTube when he overheard Lulu confronting Lois about him being Brooklyn and Dante's son. So let's really talk about that dynamic. So Gio going to come around and forgive his parents. I don't see why he shouldn't. I think it's just that it just hurts. Not I love Gio. I've been liking him since I like seeing his acting improve as well. It was great. Because at first I was like, really, what is he doing here? And then like he just kind of grew on me. And then especially at the nurses' ball, I was thoroughly impressed. I thought, I mean, when he was smashing that violin, he did a wonderful job just acting that whole scene, even before it got to the violin part. I love the crowd reaction, especially seeing Ned and Olivia, and they were just like, "Oh my god!" Like oh, again, the actress who plays Olivia is such a gift. I love her. Yes, Gio and Emma, and I love new Emma too. That's another recast. That's a recast that was beautifully done too. Rory is a definite thumbs up, and she's a 2 thumbs up. I mean, just flawless. I very much enjoyed not just her scenes with Gio, but I like her interactions with Anna. I don't know, it makes me think back to when Robin was small and or coming up and seeing Anna raising Robin, and now she's on there with her granddaughter. I'm glad they decided to bring her back as a young adult. Why not? Why not have that family connection for Anna? I do enjoy it. I've enjoyed the dog Outback. I have. Some people get annoyed with the dog, like, why is the dog? But I think they're cute, and it, kind of just adds a little bit more fun. Yeah, I still don't understand the point of this. I don't either, Aaron. I'm with you. I don't either. The Professor Dalton, but is Dalton connected to Britt? Right? There's some kind of connection there, right? I'm assuming, but I'm not really invested in it. I think it also has something to do with the WSB as well. Um, I mean, that whole WSB thing is a mess. I'm not liking this for Jocelyn, for real. I'm just gonna be honest. How are we feeling about Jocelyn's storyline? I mean, I want to see Carly find out. Jason knows, hasn't told Carly, and I don't like this Vaughn dude. I don't, he's giving Dex. He's giving Dex. The Dalton storyline seems like filler. Probably is. Lulu, are we doesn't like that Dalton tests on animals? Okay. Does he have anything to do with Brit? You like Vaughn? You do? So you must have been a Dex lover. I mean, I didn't hate Dex, but I just remember we were so invested in, like, they were like, oh, is he supposed to be like the new Jason? Not really new Jason, but like, I don't know. I was over Deputy No Shoulders. No. You ain't right. That was good. It's not concerned, but I think that Dalton is involved with the WSB story. I think so too. Who is that other one? Claudine or Claudette or Colette. It starts with a C. You say he was not Team Dex. You like him better than Dex? Okay, maybe I'll pay. Okay, let me write Vaughn's name down. I'll pay more attention to him. Vaughn. Oh no. I think that's Layla moving. I don't think I hear Lucas. Okay. Colette. Thank you. Yeah. He's hotter. Let me see. Was Lulu way too involved? Was Lulu out of line? Because she was a lot of people was very put out with Lulu. And there was some, I think it was a divide, because there were people who were like, if you were in Lulu's shoes and you know that your son possibly has a sibling out there, and you're still in love with Dante, and he has a child, why would you sit on that information? It sucks how she got the information, because she went into Martin's room and she got a hold of client privileged information. I hated how she confronted Brooklyn with it, because she just automatically thought the worst of Brooklyn in that regard, when it was really Lois who went to him and not Brooklyn. And Brooklyn didn't even know she had a son. But that's how strained their relationship was or is. It seems as though the two women are somewhat coming together because of what's going on with Maxie, and now, somewhat in support of Tracy because of the passing of Monica. So it's nice that the two of them, they're bickering. I think their bickering was starting to get exhausting to some folks. They're just like, good Lord, these two still at it. I don't take Josh seriously as a spy. I don't either. There's a lot of folks that don't. A lot of folks that don't. I mean, child. We need another story like Shiloh and Dawn of Day. Really? I'm surprised to hear that. You said Lulu needs to sit down and drink decaf. I believe Lulu going to have Gio get back close with his mother. They need to send Josh back to school. I wonder whose idea it was to take her down the WSB path. I'm not enjoying it. But as far as Lulu goes, I mean, it's unfortunate how Gio overheard the truth like that. I think that Brooklyn is thawing to Lois, especially with Monica's passing. I'm not mad at Lois though. Like I'm not mad at. I wasn't mad at Lois. Like I to me, I kind of understood. Oh, didn't Brennan blackmail her into joining the WSB because she ended up killing Cyrus, or he really put her on the path to kill Cyrus on purpose. At least that's how I view it. He did that on purpose. Fed her the information and she showed up. How Josh treated Cameron? Yeah. Let me see. Lulu need to sit down back in Macomb. I don't find her to be interesting in any of the storylines they're trying to tie her to. Many people, many, Sam fans have said, we lost Sam for this. So, there is a divide. Oh, yes, we were talking about him as Charles. Did you hear about his post on X? I don't know if you're on X. But he was saying, they were talking about how he chose to leave the show. And he said he left the show because of the toxic environment behind the scenes on the show. He said he couldn't stand it. Once Brennan cleaned up Cyrus's killing, Josh had to join the WSB. Mm-hmm. He set her up to kill that man. He sure did. He sure did. But Lulu was very involved. Oh, and can we, real quick, how do we feel? Yes, I heard. How do we feel about the fact that Rocco is so very interested and invested in his surrogate mommy who stole the embryos from his biological parents? Because when I go back and I watch those clips, I'm like, Britt, you were pretty much a shield for Britt. You were nothing but a shield the entire time she had you. Like, because I mean, there was so much going on around that time. Jerry Jax was even around. I think Robin was around. I think she was even watching Ben and stuff like that while they were holding her captive in that damn lab. Like, he was nothing but a bulletproof vest for Britt. So I'm just like, I get it. Rocco wasn't there, so he don't see all this. But I'm just like, if we're supposed to believe that Rocco, a Gen Z, doesn't understand the concept of surrogacy, boo to the writers, I just feel like they're just taking it too far. And I just think that they're doing that because of her returning. That's part of the kind of laying it on too thick part. There was like a whole lot of flashbacks of her and Jason. And again, I'm still not sold on them as a romantic pairing. It's going to take me some time. We will see. I still haven't found anything that I like so much since he and Sam, but I was just like, wow, he's really laying it on thick. He's spending, and I think that's what drew Dr. O back to Port Charles. He reached out to her, and Lulu and Dante were freaking out when they saw her. Okay. Sidwell and Marco. Okay, so we finally got rid of Natalia. Natalia died. She drank herself, pilled herself, both. TJ character hasn't officially. No, he did. It was in the credits. They took him out. He's off contract. And he made a post about it on Instagram. But he was talking about what he's doing now. I think he went back to school, didn't he? But he's off contract. I don't think he's not even on reoccurring status. Let me see. I get he is curious about her. I like that Britt is giving Lulu hell. I didn't like how Lulu did BLQ. Gotcha. Somebody got to give it to her. I'm not sold on. Yeah, they're beautiful people. Me either. TJ is still, yes, he's still technically in Port Charles. They just don't talk about him no more. There's a lot of characters that's still in Port Charles that don't get talked about no more. Yeah, yeah, you are right. You are right. The actor's out, but not the character. But he's like what? They've just shoved him in the character closet pretty much. So it's somewhat the same thing. People saying Nancy behind him not being on GH anymore. There's been a lot of talk about Nancy. I'm probably because she's very vocal on social media, especially about her political views. Also, I saw the actor who formerly played Jax. Is he still trying to appeal his loss with ABC? Didn't he have some case with them? He was trying to get some money because he was let go due to COVID. The actor's out. They did TJ the way they did Dylan. Here today, gone for years without any explanation. They do that to a lot of characters. I mean, it's so many characters that if you stop and you think about it, you'd be like, oh. All right. There was something. Okay. So Natalia is dead. And this ties into Sunny. They say she causes problems with everyone on the show. What was I getting ready to say? I am thoroughly exhausted with everyone flip-flopping on this take Sunny down crusade. How? Stop it. When he maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. Okay? But Sunny is not your biggest problem. And then they flip-flop. They're so hot and cold with it. And I feel like they've done that. Like, wasn't Laura just against him? Wasn't Anna just against him? And then like now they're back cool. Like I just stop with the take Sunny down crusade because I'm not buying it. I'm not here for it. I can't believe that y'all would want Sidwell over Sunny. I'm just like, what? At least you know Sunny. And I mean, really, I have to admit, there's like the mob stuff has I guess it's still there, but it's not as prevalent as it was in the 2000s and especially the late 90s. But definitely the 2000s, especially towards the end, have he and Jason and Sonny, they really dominated with the mob stuff. But I'm glad that there's more of a balance on the show and it's not all mob. You know, Sonny is a granddaddy. Can we leave? Can we leave our old mobster alone now? He ain't going. He ain't doing nothing other than making pasta in a restaurant. I don't think there's been any story that has been beaten to death than yeah. Mm-hmm. Cause I'm just like, oh wow, I did not know that about her. Uh, but yeah, stop it. So that Marco was trying to be all big and bad or whatever. So it's like you killed my mama. It's I think they tried to redeem Natalia, but her character was dead after what happened with her comments in regards to Christina and her daughter's relationship, and then her son is also uh, gay. Like you have two children who are gay. I mean, I just yeah, she's gone finally. Just I don't know that I don't know any Natalia fans. I don't know anybody that was a fan of Natalia. We love Eva LaRue, but not Natalia. You don't trust anything he says. Oh, of course Justine is falling for Sonny. She's the latest brunette to fall for him, and I'm sick. I'm sick. I, that's another storyline that's beaten to death. Sonny always gets the woman. Please surprise me. I don't want to see that. Do we like Sidwell? I believe Sidwell did something to her pills. Do we like Sidwell? How are we feeling about him? He's supposed to be the new big bad. Maybe. I don't really know. Like I just I mean I know he's done some things, but I don't know. I don't know. I kind of wish they all would have left town when Natalia died. You said no, you don't like it. Lucy, you like Lucy and Sidwell's dynamic. Okay, Lucy and Sidwell. Okay. Let's see. Cause there's a hold on. So Rick, uh, I like having Rick back, and he now this happened this year, right? Where and I don't think I was doing lives, was I? But we're just gonna recap this situation because Christina is written down here too. Does anybody remember when or around what month Jonathan Jackson left the role of Lucky? Um, and what are your opinions on that? Did they? I feel like him coming back was maybe a cash grab for him because they absolutely had no plan, did they? Like, I mean, they did this whole dramatic thing to bring him back to town to possibly save Lulu's life. Then, of course, that honor went to Sam to kill her off. And then he's still not interested really in Aiden, although he and Aiden left town together. Um, I just, and then they tried to rekindle his relationship with Elizabeth. And I'm like, you guys are doing all this effort for this man just to leave. And for me, I just wasn't buying him and Elizabeth. I wasn't. There was a point where they were really great together, and that's their past. I mean, you can't take nothing away from LNL2 from the 90s in 1998, and I believe somewhat 1999. We know the story of how he rescued her from the snow after her assault. I mean, their relationship was great, but I mean, after he left the show after being killed off, Lucky and Elizabeth never fit for me anymore. I feel like that was just her high school love, and it should have stayed that way. but they kept it going in adulthood. Of course, they had, I think, some guy named Jacob who played on All My Children. He played Lucky, and then they also had Greg Vaughn. I just feel like Lucky and Elizabeth are completely expired. They've been expired. They were expired 2 recasts ago. That's how expired they are. Let me see. He's coming back again. I was buying it, but as soon as they started to finally feel right, he was gone. Okay. I mean, hey, different strokes for different folks. It didn't work for his family. I just feel as though his return was supposed to be 10 months. Okay. Rick with the ball in his mouth. Mm-hmm. I Well, yeah. I mean, let him do that. I think that some. I was just wondering if he came back for the money. It could be. Maybe he had came back for the money, for a short term. But still, I just don't feel like outside of Elizabeth that he had much story going on. It just kind of seemed like he was still sulking and everything. But of course, I think, older dynamic when they showed them, they just weren't writing for them. Gotcha. Of course, he was working at Charlie's, that Christina, and I don't know what happened to Charlie's at this point. It got burnt up. And he picked up on the fact that she messed with Ava's car. I was so pissed off with Alexis. Okay, the commute. I was so pissed at Alexis because I'm like, please have Christina committed. Please. Christina's just got a lot going on. And part of me is like, I want Molly to find out how much trash her sister and her mom is. No, nobody puts Molly first. Nobody does. The lack of storyline is the fault of the writers, and sadly a reoccurring issue. It always has been. And I'm like, sometimes I want Molly to find out how much trash they are, and for her to get custody of Scout. But Molly has no idea of anything that's going on. But everyone's in cahoots. Ava got betrayed by Rick, honey. He pulled a fast one on her. I wonder if she'll be able to move that money. He's out the basement from what we saw. Oh my goodness! And I thought it was such a glorious thing for him to be trapped. I know that initially after what he did to Carly, he was in the panic room. But still, after what that wasn't enough. So whenever I see him trapped, I just be like, panic room. I remember that panic room. What you did to that pregnant woman, chaining her to a damn wall. That was awful. Absolutely awful. So chain him up, honey. But I was very surprised at how he turned on Ava. It's very clear that he's not interested in Ava romantically. He'll, mess around, but he's just wholeheartedly invested in Elizabeth. Rick is. And I was just like, girl, no, you need to move on from this because she went to the wedding with him, and no, girl. And that was something that was funny. They went to the wedding together, to Willow's wedding, but Elizabeth and Rick ended up together. When they went to go find Willow. And I was like, what did you do with Ava? I don't think Rick went to the bathroom for a month in that basement. So it was a month that he was down there. It doesn't feel like that. Hold on. It looks like my food is almost done. I am so excited. you said you can't imagine what he smells like. I was so shocked that about like what happened that Ava knocked him out like that. I was even more shocked that they managed to figure out a way for those women to all keep their mouths shut and not do anything about it. I was just like it was just an interesting turn of events for them all to be on the same side instead of at each other's throats, especially since this all started because her falling out the window, the custody thing. I mean, but oh my goodness, it's just this thing between Christina and Ava has been going on for a long time. It feels like so. It was just interesting to see how that dynamic changed. You just know he musty. He was down there, believe 2 or 3 weeks in the basement. So almost a month. Ava has a habit of knocking out her lovers. She did the same to Nicholas. Yeah, that's Ava's MO. It's just amazing that she's just able to find an item so daggone quickly. I mean, she'll knock you out with anything. I still enjoy Ava's friendship with Nina. Okay, so something that has been, and I mean, she found out a tactic that works for her. Something that fans had been saying for months and months and months, and then after this topic, I'm gonna go eat and try to get some sleep. But we were all like, when is Willow going to find out about Nina and Drew? When is Willow going to know that Drew was sleeping with her mom while they were supposedly falling in love with each other? And it took quite a while because there were a few false starts where I thought that it was going to be. It took them forever. Yes, there was so many false starts where I thought oh, it's going to happen. It was like, oh, it needs to come out now and everything. When it did come out, were you satisfied? I mean, I really enjoyed because I thought Willow was going to marry him, and shout out to Curtis. Because I still do not believe that Nina was actually going to go in there and tell her. I don't. You know how many times Nina was going to go up and do the right thing? And it's always whenever Nina is going to tell the truth that somebody beats her to it. She still has not learned that lesson, still after all this time. That's the thing about her, forgiving Drew and staying mad at Nina. No, they were slowly turning Willow into now. But yeah, she wasn't going to tell her the truth. All Willow had to say was all Willow was going to do was say, "Oh, Mom, I love you," and she was just going to shut up. No, I wasn't satisfied until Nina finally dragged Willow's ass. And that happened recently. Willow being pissed at Nina, but not at Drew is nasty work. It sure is. And especially when she was sitting there talking about she had an affair with Drew. No, you had an affair with Drew. Your mother was a single woman. Okay, messing around with a single man. She did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? We knew Drew was going to put all the blame. Oh, we knew it. We absolutely knew it. It's just the fact that Willow is just buying it. And then some of the times I wonder if she's just putting on a show because, like she said, she really believes that he's going to be the one to help her to get her kids back. And, of course, I'm hoping it blows up in her face. And I don't know if I got the answer, if somebody said it already. Was Michael able to push back the hearing for October? Because now we're in October. There was supposed to be a hearing this month, but Michael said he was going to see with Diane if he could get it pushed back indefinitely. So I'm wondering if he was able to do that, or are they about to go back to court? Because, yeah, I'm tired of her playing the victim too. And she's still not really doing anything to, really show the courts that she's ready to have her children back. I mean, one of the first things I would have done was gotten my own place to live. Didn't she get some money from Michael in the divorce settlement? So why are you living with Elizabeth? I know you got some things in the divorce settlement that if you had to sell something, you would still be all right and you could get a place to live. Where are you going to bring those kids to? Elizabeth's house? I guess you could since all of her boys are gone. But I'm just saying, like, your girl, get a place to live, or I guess she's moving back in with Drew. Oh my gosh, those two are exhausting. Those two are exhausting, and she's perfectly all right with Michael being framed for murder. Perfectly all right. She was perfectly all right with hearing that Drew was going to frame Michael as being a addict who's hooked on painkillers, and that was before she really accepted the full truth about who Drew was. Willow has money; she works full time, and thank you, Brooklyn, and money from Mike. Yeah, she has money. She certainly does. She just needs to get it together, get her head out Drew's butt, and go get a place to live. Like, I'm glad Nina got it. I'm so glad too. I'm definitely happy that she told her off. It just should have come so much sooner. But I hope that she doesn't revert back and don't hold any more punches. Okay, that's something that I really enjoy about Carly's relationship with her kids. Is just the full the transparency and the honesty. I want to see that with Nina and Willow. And Nina, girl, tell your truth. You grown as hell. You got your own money, your own business. Like, girl, you should not be afraid of anything. I just want to see Nina be fearless. I'm surprised Tracy not asking for that ring back anymore. What? And he's so obsessed with that ring? Some people's like, what, you gonna propose marriage to Willow with the ring that Michael gave to her that belongs to Lila? But he has some obsession with the Quartermains. He really does. We saw him show up at Monica's funeral. Tracy. She wheeled his butt out, and everybody was looking damn satisfied about it too. You sat there and tried to remove the family crypt where now Monica is going to rest, and you're going to show up there talking about I'm Drew Quartermain? You are not Drew Quartermain. What, like, he just wants, does he really want, he wants acceptance so bad? I'm still trying to figure Drew out because really, we don't know this man. He was raised completely different and away from Jason. I think he still has Jason's memories. Oh, sir, they just met you last week. Who are you? I'm so sick of Drew and Willow's storyline. I'm surprised Tracy not asking for that ring back. Yeah. She was fine with stealing the kids from Michael and letting Drew adopt Michael's kids. That was another thing. The fact that she signed over paperwork allowing Drew to have, a custodial relationship over the kids without consulting Michael. We see that she got some custodial ground when it came to Scout, and people's like, how does a woman who lost custody of her two children and she gets custody of a child that's not hers? A lot of folks was hoping that maybe Alexis would be able to gain the upper hand, but however, that restraining order is strong. I do want to see Alexis challenge it. I am concerned about Scout because she's being isolated from the family, and it's because Drew said his daughter is not going to go anywhere where he's not welcome. So he's not putting Scout first. But even when Sam was alive, Drew showed this tendency. And it's only since the recast, because when Billy Miller played the role, the character was written differently. He had far more compassion and he put the children first. I mean, I guess we got to think about the fact it wasn't just Scout, it was Oscar. So it was just a completely different dynamic of him as a father. But now at this state, Scout has to suffer because he doesn't want to see her happy with people that he can't be happy with. And that's not right. Yeah, she wheeled him out. Like, people don't know who he is saying, I'm Drew Quartermain. He cut what they call him, Congressman Cutthroat. Classic. Is unlikable in general. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of Cameron Matheson's delivery. I remember when he played Ryan on All My Children. Sometimes he could, the character of Ryan could be insufferable then. But Monica's funeral was nice. I did, partly the fault of the writing and CM. Monica's funeral was nice. However, I did see many comments that felt that it was underwhelming compared to the send off they gave to Jacqueline Zeman, who played Bobby Spencer. So, also, I will say there was the audience, and it's probably because of the budget. That's all I could think of. Is probably because of the budget. They can't afford to just bring a whole bunch of people back, like maybe they would at some point back in the day. They can only really work with who they have. So there was quite a few people missing. I guess they decided not to have the kids attend, but it just seemed as though it's just I missed the Quartermains. It didn't seem like there was enough Quartermains in attendance. Jason, I really feel for him. I enjoyed the scene where Danny went to go find his father. Uh, they both lost their mothers recently, and Jason had to comfort Danny, and then you see Danny comforting Jason, who's just crying in the cottage or the family, that house where Monica accepted him as her son. Very well done scenes. Even Tracy, the actress, her grief being displayed and her admitting how much she admired Monica. Also seeing and hearing, this is Monica's house. Alan gave it to her, or Alan gave it to me. It will never get old. I would love a t shirt that says it's Monica's house. Alan gave it to her. Um, I saw the clips. I don't know if, I know that a lot of you said that due to the baseball, you haven't seen it. So, but I did see the clips of Monica's will. So be ready for that because it's coming. Also, the actress, Erica, right? Who is playing Ronnie, her sister. Yeah, yeah, Tristan too. I wonder if they will address that he passed away. If they do, will Robin, the actress who plays Robin, come back and do some scenes? Um, but they said the actress who's playing Monica's sister, she already wrapped up taping. She's already done, and she's back home. So she's not going to be in town for long. And I guess we'll just have to see what she's going to do. There's some people who say it was a bit lackluster. Uh, I'm just watching it, and I don't really have an opinion yet. Um, but it does. Seeing her does definitely, indeed, have me missing One Life to Live. When you look at the landscape of TV today, especially how there are a lot of shows that cannot withstand the time slot that All My Children and One Life to Live used to be in, um, I miss those shows. I really do, really do. Okay, we have talked so much, um, and my nose is clogged as usual. And so I'm going to go eat, see if I can blow my nose. I hear my son in there grunting. So he's probably ready for his bottle. And thank you all so much. You would gag. They mentioned her, but she hasn't popped up. But thank you all so much for joining me. I know it was like a bizarre time to be doing a live stream. The next stream will be better. I probably won't do it. I probably won't do one this weekend only because I think there's only 2 episodes that's gonna air. I think there was one on Monday. Then of course the whole week was consumed by baseball, and now we got Friday's episode. So I'll just probably wait until the end of next week. Thank you. Thank you all so much for continuing to be here with me and a part of this. I love talking about the show with you all, and I've missed it so much. I just want to say that I have missed you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's been wonderful. And I will be back. Have a great night and have a great day.